So today we are going to be talking about gratitude and grief. And I know before you want to punch me in the freaking face, let me just assure you this is not going to be full of toxic positivity, rah-rah, positive bullcrap that makes most grieving people want to vomit. I promise. What it is going to be is hopefully a few strategies that you can use during your grief to help you feel, just a little bit lighter, a little less negative, a little less griefy, if that's a word. Practicing gratitude can really be a way to combat the negative emotions surrounding a loss. Obviously, not that they're ever going to go away, but little bouts of gratitude truly can kind of up your vibe. So stay tuned. Hey there, if we haven't met, my name is Brooke from Grieving Mommy, and on my channel I share my journey through loss and grief after losing my 10-year-old daughter Libby in a car accident. I also help other people that are going through the grieving process. Okay, so here are my gratitude tips. The first one, when I went to the mental hospital after my daughter's death, the first thing that they had me do is start what they called the journal of pleasant things. I know some of you hear the word journal and you're like, ugh, I'm out, no way. Journaling's very en vogue right now. I feel like everyone's talking about it. So if you hate journaling, just hear me out for a second. So essentially what I was supposed to do was to get a notepad. They said just any regular old notepad, and each night before I went to bed, I was supposed to write down 3 things that I was grateful for that day. And the 3 things didn't have to be anything momentous. They didn't really have to even be anything super positive. It didn't matter how mundane and boring they were. So my entries ranged from I took a shower today to the tulips are blooming out front and they remind me of my dad from when he helped me plant them, so some were a lot deeper than others. Some were just, I'm grateful that I have a comfy sofa that I can curl up and cry all day long in a ball. So again, it doesn't have to be anything really momentous. It's just to kind of get you focusing on anything positive throughout your day. So of course, because it's me and I'm freaking extra, and I wanted to, for some reason, impress the psychiatrist at the mental hospital, I went home and I designed my own Journal of Pleasant Things template on Canva and printed them out and made them into a nice little notebook and sat it by my bed every night. And that was what I used to write down the 3 things that I was grateful for. If you actually want that template, if you're extra like me, a notebook is totally fine if you want to try this, but if you want to use my template, I'm going to leave a link below in the description and you can download the template that I made. That's much prettier than notebook paper. So the goal of the Journal of Pleasant Things, like I said, is just to get you in the mindset of just noticing anything positive throughout your day. Obviously, when you are grieving, it is just a barrage of negative, negative, negative all the freaking time. So it just sort of makes you stop for a second and think about anything good at all that happened during your day. I wouldn't say it's a mandatory thing. That's why some people don't like journaling. It seems so prescriptive, oh, you have to do this every night. You can sit it by your bed. There were nights that I skipped, I'm human. So don't feel like it has to be an every single night thing. It just kind of starts to shift your mindset into the more okay, these are the things that I still have going for me, even if they are the most seemingly insignificant things in the world. Okay. The next strategy that I would love for you to try actually is from the author Lucy Hone. I'm taking a class with her right now. It's amazing. And she actually just talked about this in the class. I found out that it is a pretty common acronym. So it's HTGS, which stands for Hunt the Good Stuff. And it was actually used for military members to try to increase their resilience. And what you do with Hunt the Good Stuff is exactly like it sounds. What we do is actually look for the good things. So we kind of, again, change our mindset and make it a routine or a practice to notice anything good that is happening around us. And again, it can be something small, it can be something large. And it can actually be really helpful if you stick sticky notes up in certain places just as like a visual clue or reminder to start looking for positive things around you. And it's almost kind of like rewiring your brain to change from the overly negative thoughts to the more positive thoughts. It's going to be difficult at first looking for good things because you're not really going to feel like it. And again, you won't be able to do this every single day. You won't always be successful with it. I know I'm not, but eventually it will hopefully get you to notice more of the good things throughout the day. And again, kind of create that resilience in your mind moving forward. Okay, and this next strategy is going to seem almost impossible at first. I know it felt that way for me right after my daughter's death. I couldn't even imagine doing what I am going to tell you. So if you're in really early grief, this might be really difficult for you. But if you're a little further on, see what you can come up with. So this strategy is acknowledging that you can be grateful for some of the things that have happened since your person died. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but let me explain. For the vast majority of us, and myself included, we would do literally anything to get our people back. If there was a way to turn back time and save my daughter, you bet your ass I would be doing that if it were humanly possible. I would trade my life for hers in an instant if it were possible to do that. I would rather have her here with me than anything else in the entire world. And I'm sure you probably feel the same way about the person that you lost. But that is not going to happen. And so this strategy is about, again, when you are a little bit distant, finding anything that you can to be grateful for in this new life that you are creating. And I'm going to explain how I look at this because, again, it sounds harsh and it sounds weird, and it doesn't mean that we are glad that our person died in any sort of way. Okay, so let me explain. Because of Libby, I am a completely different person. I found the courage after she died to leave a bad marriage, for example. And I don't think I would have done that before she died. I know that she would be so happy for me to see the peace that that decision has brought me, and it wouldn't have done that without her. I have more time to write and more time to create and more time to help people. Because before, I was running around like a nut all the time being a busy mom, and I didn't have the time to do those things. And while, yes, I would much, much, much rather still be running my daughter around everywhere, I don't have to do that anymore. So I can look at it as choosing to be grateful for the fact that I now have time to do those things that I love. And what's even better about that is that Libby was my biggest supporter. She really was. I know anytime anything happened to me that was positive, like in the writing and publishing world, that kind of thing, she'd be the first person that I would tell, and she would be so excited for me. And I know that she would be right here with me, checking my YouTube followers and how many Instagram followers I have. And she'd be in the videos and in the pictures and posts with me if she could. So I know that this is something that she would be so proud of me for doing. And that brings me a little more peace about it. Because of my daughter's death, I have stopped caring what people think. And that was a huge issue for me. I was a huge people pleaser. I have learned to be more open and more honest with people when I wouldn't before. I've become more fearless. I figured the worst thing that could ever happen to me has now happened. So from this point on, I'm not really afraid of anything anymore. I have one life, and I want to live it with as much peace and purpose as I possibly can in my daughter's honor. I look at all of these things as gifts that Libby has given to me. And I am so, so grateful to her for doing that. It's indescribably grateful for the changes that she's brought to my life and the gifts that she is still giving me even after she's gone. Practicing this kind of gratitude takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of time to get there because we are used to being surrounded by the hopelessness and despair of grief, and there is always a place for that, and there always will be. But making even just a little effort can help build up your resilience and can help you move forward on your grief journey. So if this resonated with you at all, let's get started right here today. Why don't you leave in the comments just one thing. Just think of one thing that you are grateful for today, no matter how silly and small it might seem. Leave it in the comments so we can see what every other person is grateful for as well, and maybe get some ideas of different things that we could be grateful for ourselves by others' examples. If you would like to watch more videos helping you with your grief journey, I'm going to leave a link up here to another video that you can check out. If you are interested in doing one-on-one coaching with me, there is a link in the description that you can click on to get more information about that. I will see you guys the next time. Sending love and hugs, as always. Bye.